Alrighty, y'all, welcome back to another video, and in this one we're going to keep chugging along at our shop feature. So in the last video what we did is we wrote the logic for the seller product page. In other words, so the seller can add and manage all of their products. And now that we have the functionality for a seller to be able to add products, let's go ahead and build out our buyer's product catalog, which is going to be the equivalent of this view right here. So on that note, what I want to do is first hop into TNBOS, and alright. So what I'm going to do first is make the empty state for this. In other words, when there are no products at all, we're just going to give them a better empty state than this, little well, we don't just want to give them a blank screen, a little indicator to let them know what's up. So let's hop back in TNBOS and figure out how we do this. So TNBOS, I have two components: an empty page, which is empty state for an entire page, and then an empty state. And this is just a component where, let's say you have like a little subsection, like a panel or something, then you can stick this in there. And for my empty page component, I basically just use that same component but inside a much larger container that will take up a whole page. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and first just copy this empty state component. Okay. So yeah, let's actually just copy it and then we'll kind of read through it. Okay, so front end. Okay. So a new item to our component library, which is an empty state component. And the styles for this, let's see what we're working with. So the span gray, let's do colors, palettes, dark gray. Looks like 100 and 200 should be switched. Yeah, I think they should be actually. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay. So anyways, getting a little off track here, but had a little issue. Okay. So span gray, and I have span blue. And under types, unify those. Alright, so now let's look through this. So the empty state component is going to accept empty state props, which is action text, bottom text, a graphic, on action click text, and top text. So at the top of this component, we have a graphic, and then we're going to have some top text, which is required, and then we are going to have bottom text, which is also required, an optionable action text. So this is going to basically look like a link, and it's going to be like, to give you an example, it's going to be like, no products to display here, create one now. And that create one can be a link where you click on it and it can like pop open a modal or take you to the create product page, whatever you want to do. But that's the basic of the action text. So this is saying if you don't have any action text or you don't have a click handler for it, then you can just go ahead and return null. Basically, those options were not being used. However, if you do, then what you're going to render is that action text inside the span blue, which is basically just a, it's going to look like a link. All right, so that is good. And then we can close out of this for now. Empty state component done. So now what we're actually using is this empty page component. So copy this component and I'm going to get a new component in my component library for empty page. And this is going to use that empty state component that we just talked about. And it's just going to render it inside a page instead, pretty much. All right. Okay. So for this empty page, we basically pass in all the same props, and it just passes those through to this empty state component. And then we're just styling this to pretty much have it appear in the center of the page. Okay. So now I can use this empty page component and where am I getting a graphic for this? Assets. Okay. So under my assets, let me say leaves, wind. I'll say leaves empty state. Actually, I'll just call it empty state now. I may have different graphics for empty state. This is one of them, but until I have another one for empty state, I'll keep the naming a little bit generic. So let me just do empty state, and I'll say empty state graphic. Actually, let me kind of look ahead and see what other empty states I got. If I check out. Interesting. Here's a network's empty state, which I can use for cores. So let me actually do that right now. Refactor rename leaves empty state. And then I'll just say leaves. Wow. Okay, let me move my keyboard a little bit so I can actually type. Okay. So for the empty page, what are we gonna do with you? So first, Mr. Empty Page component, what? Okay, let me give you a graphic. Graphic equals leaves empty state. And then you're probably gonna want top text 2. Just say top text, bottom text, bottom text, and let's give you some action text as well. And then on action text click, and I don't think I'll have any option, or excuse me, action text for this. However, I just want to kind of make sure my component is rendering properly. And that was not what I wanted to open, but I guess I'll open Discord too. All right. So this is my graphic, top text, bottom text, and then an optional action text right here. First of all, that action text is a little, it's supposed to be blue, but it's not. Let me quit Discord. All right, so a couple different things. Let's first of all just get our spacing taken care of. So by home, it's gonna have this container, page content, empty state. So page content, it'll be applied to. Okay, that didn't work as anticipated. So this is the top, this is the bottom, this is the page. And for this bottom one, actually, how do we have it? Interesting. So for this, what we can do is say display flex direction column flex 1. Is that gonna work? And it's not because the parent, and that's a good question. What is the parent of this? And I don't want to mess with my layout. That's interesting too. I thought the top part was sticky, the bottom part was scrollable, but apparently not. But I think that we want that. So I may have to change the layout for this. Just put it in TNVOS, right? Yeah, I think I want this logic right here. All right, so in this case, yeah, flex. Yeah. So I'm gonna need to make a layout. And the top is, and it's gonna be a flex direction column, height of 100. And then for the top toolbar, keep that as is. And then the bottom is just gonna have a height of 100 to take up the remaining space. Okay. So now this becomes, it might not be that difficult. Okay, so with pages, we have the shop page. This is the index for it. And the container, what we do, okay, so it's this layout right here we're gonna have to adjust. And for the outlet, ooh, this is interesting. I wonder if I can style this outlet. That would be great. React router down. Let's find out. QRS. Okay. So as U outlet. All right. I'm going to style a custom outlet, and it's going to be a style version of this unstyled outlet. And for this, I basically want to use the same logic as this right here. So it's going to have, so that's going to be the flex. This is going to be height of 100. Really hoping this works. So this is a styled outlet. This is either going to work or probably mess a bunch of stuff up. All right, so the good thing is this works. Okay. And now that is not working. So my styled outlet is supposed to have a height of 100. Let me just do background red. Okay, however, it does not, actually, is my entire, yeah, this isn't, display flex direction column. Well, this is my layout. Display flex. Wait a minute. Yeah, this is my layout. Display flex direction column. And then this, display flex. And then this is what I should have. Fascinating. My layout, maybe I have to put a height. whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on here? All right, this should be my logic. Flex direction column, overflow hidden. However, now this should have a height of 100 and then overflow Y scroll. Okay, actually the overflow Y auto for this. Okay, but either way, this is my layout. And then the outlet should have a overflow Y auto. And this isn't working, but at least we're getting somewhere. Okay. So yeah. So I need to figure out how to apply this styling to this. It is the outlet, but I just can't style it. Yeah, minus the red background. Okay. So I can't style the outlet like that. So let's figure out how I can. Outlet is going to render right there, and height 100. All right, ChatGPT, got a good one for you, and that is how can I style this outlet? All right, in your code, I see you're using styled file. You can style it directly, or you can wrap the outlet. Ooh, you can wrap it. That's interesting as well. Yeah, I already tried this, but it's not working. Inside a style div. All right, so it looks like I'm going to have to try this property, which is the outlet container. All right, let's see if this is working. All right, so we have an outlet container that's going to contain our outlet. And it would work similar to this, where the height is 100, the overflow, if needed. All right, so that is looking good from that perspective. That's great. And now, just go to my cell products. Okay, this is looking good. This is what we wanted. So by default, there is no scroll, sticky top bar. And then if needed, you get a little scroll going on. And also, I got this empty state floating in the middle, which I want. And then also, well, no scroll, don't have anything in there for now, but there will be eventually. Okay. So one thing that I'm seeing is we need to change the actual empty state text of this. So close that, don't need you. Don't even know why I opened you. Okay. What could be the empty state for these products? I can say, let's just say nothing here. Actually, let me just check. Overflow hidden white. White. Okay, that's good. Layout. Good. That's good. Okay. So no empty state. So there's not going to be any action text. There's not going to be any bottom text. Still didn't leave. So I'll say top text. Nothing here. And for the bottom text, I will say, what can we say for this bottom text? Actually, let me just say no products to display. Nothing here, no products to display. Okay, that is good. All right, looking good. So now this is going to be the empty state, which hopefully we won't have that often. And now let's go ahead and actually add the product logic. So this by catalog. Wait a minute. So in my layout, the outlet container is gonna say height of 100, overflow Y if necessary. And then in my product catalog, do I also need that height of 100? I think I may for that empty state if nothing else, yeah. And then overflow Y auto for the container. I don't think I need that, although I think we pretty much achieve the same thing. Actually, this I don't need. Okay. Okay, then I'll stick a grid in there and it should be good. Yeah. Yep. That stretches. Okay. All right, so now for the by catalog, let's just get organized and tackle that part. So for the by catalog, what we are doing is we are going to say inside the by catalog, we are going to render content. We're first going to look if there are any products to display. If not, then we are gonna just render the empty page like we have right now. Now, if we do have products, then we're gonna render the product cards container. And this product cards container, what this is actually a component. And this component is just going to take a bunch of product cards, in other words, React children, and then gonna render them in a responsive grid. Now the question is, why did we make this a component? And actually, if nothing else, it's nice to split up this way, but I do want to see if we use it anywhere else. Okay. So this product cards container under components. Okay. So it's not going to really be a reusable component. However, I do want to split this logic up. So let's do it anyways. All right. Yeah, this is actually a nice pattern. All right. So product cards container, let's go ahead and add another component to our component library. Product cards container. Product cards container, let's check your styling. Gonna have to update that. All right, so product cards container styles, types, get it from there. Okay, so we're going to be passing you children, in other words, a bunch of product cards, and you're going to render them inside a grid. And also going to be changing these because I want to use my standardized breakpoints. So this is pretty much saying that by default, or basically the most items that you can have on your screen is 6 wide, 6 columns. And then as the screen gets smaller, you just don't want 6 columns wide when you're on like a phone. So let's do this. Okay. So first, let's import the standardized breakpoints. And then starting probably from the so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just kind of. I mean, it's hard to imagine this stuff in your head, the breakpoints. So what we're gonna do is kind of just build it up. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the default, which will be 5. So the most we can have is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll do mini mobile tablet desktop. So mini mobile tablet desktop. Then anything larger than the desktop or anything larger than 1400 pixels will just show 5 products right there. And of course, this is going to be tough to test too, since we don't have any products rendering on the screen. But this component is looking good for now, as good as we can get it without some products rendering. So let me close that. And all right. So now what I can do is, yeah, let's go ahead and import this. So products container. Okay, import product cards container. Now I can say something like render page content. Render page content. It's going to be replaced by this empty state. Which is going to be right here. And then this is going to be render page content. Okay. 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 All right. Available products. So now what we can do is actually start this off pretty easy. Okay. So under pages, let's first just render all the products before we filter any ones out, available, unavailable. And these will include draft products and active products for now. Later on, we only want to display active products because that's kind of the point of having products in draft mode, that they aren't ready to be bought and sold yet. But we'll kind of get to that in a bit. Don't want to do too many things at once. Okay, so for now, let's just go ahead and get those products using uselector, which is going to come from React Redux. Select these products from my store, and then get product selector I have in selector state. So these products, available products, that's probably coming from a hook. And okay, so I'll just do actually, I do want to split that out. Available products, should I do it now though? Might as well. And why did I name it available instead of... Okay. So I named it available instead of active products because on this page, I'm filtering out the ones where you are the seller of. So basically, whenever you're looking at this, if you are selling products, there's no need to display it in the catalog because it doesn't make sense, because then you can just add your own products to the cart and it's going to be confusing because we're probably not even going to allow purchasing of your own products. However, I'm also wondering from a UX perspective, would it be weird if you were selling products and you just added one, for example, and you saw it right here, but then you went back to the product catalog, kind of just to, I don't know, get a perspective of what other people are seeing, and you don't see it here. And I think it might be. So in that case, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to say, I'm first going to say I want to use memo from React. And I'm going to say active product. So const use memo. All right, so this is going to return, I'm just going to return all products for now. And then I can just say, if you don't have any active products, or basically if you have active products, this is just going to convert the length to a Boolean, this double ampersand or double exclamation mark. And then if you do have products, you're going to render this. If not, then you render an empty state. And then eventually we're going to need to add a filter for this. So to do add filter. But before we get to that, let's just go ahead and we'll render everything out on the screen just to make sure that the styling and everything is looking good. All right, so render product cards is going to render these product card components. And then for this, we need that product card. So go to declaration, and this is just formatting everything basically, including an account label. Okay, so lots of mini components in here. So let's see what ones we got. An account label. And for that, okay, so for each of these cards, we have a thumbnail on top. And then at the bottom, we have name, description, account label. So name, description, account label, which is basically just a little user icon. And then it's probably going to say their username, and then whether they're the buyer or the seller. Then after this, we have another component for the pricing, which is just called the price component. Okay, so working on the inside out, let's do the account label first. And I believe that I want to change the name of this to user label. So components, account label. Yeah, let's do user label. All right. So components, do I have a user label or account label already? No. And okay. So make a new directory called user label. And the styling for it is going to be this as well. Oh, I might need actually a lot of so first of all, from the styles and components, all right, so this actually takes, all right, so first we need an avatar. We don't have that either. That's from system, right? Yeah. Okay. So system, components, avatar. This is interesting. So what this is gonna do is display an image inside a container with a fixed height, width, and then I'm also displaying on TNBOS this little online offline. Maybe you can see it, like a little online offline button, but I don't need that. So we can remove this logic. Okay. So let's just make a simple avatar for now. So for the avatar, what we can do is in the styles, we don't need the status. And in this, we don't need any of these. Okay, so I'm not going to render the status. I'm not going to render the status. I'm not going to render the status. So for the avatar props, what we can do is this. So this is interesting as well. We still need to build in the like profile photo logic on the back end. However, we can just use a default avatar for now. So for the display image, we won't pass this in. Yeah, this is going to be super simple now, but we'll make it a little bit smarter, or a lot smarter later. So here we're just going to use a default display image. And to do that, what we can do is get this default avatar. So system assets default avatar. So system assets default avatar. Copy that. System assets, paste in default avatar, which is just a blank user. And then for this, what we can do is say in our avatar component for now that we don't have any fancy schmancy user profile logic, we'll just use the default avatar in 100% of the instances. So now we don't need the status either. So avatar styles is this. All right, so our avatar is basically just a, yeah, I don't need this. All right, so user label, which we were saying was account label. All right, so new component here, just call it index. All right. And here it's called account label, but we renamed that, so refactory name to user label. And for the display name, actually, I wonder if we can just pass in a user. Yeah, maybe we just do this. Well, first of all, let me clean this up. Okay, so I am just going to pass in a description and a name. Yeah, we'll keep this nice and easy for now. Okay, so for this user label, we're going to be passing in a description and a name. For the avatar, we are using this avatar component, and it doesn't take any props because we're just using that default thumbnail or avatar. Now for the name, we're just gonna render whatever they pass in for the name. For the description, this is gonna say seller, and then those are both required. These look good. And then, okay. So now we have an account label. What else do we need for that product card? Alright, so the product card needs an account label, line, a thumbnail. Okay. So for the thumbnail components, we actually have this one already. And all this does, yeah. And this just creates a square aspect ratio. So we actually have all of our subcomponents we need. Now we just need to render the product card. So that should be easy enough. Just go to product card and make that a component. All right. So apps, shop, remove all of these. Components, account label, we renamed to user label. TUV user label, and then for the default colors I don't need. For the description, that is color secondary, and for the border color is colors border. Okay, so that should be good for the styling of the product card. Now on my product card, let's see, so price component, I don't think we have that yet. Types, unify these. And then unify these, P, QRS. Okay. So I need a price component. The product that gets passed in, the property on that is just name image, right? Okay, so image is the name of the product URL. So product image, and then for this, it is user label. And then for that user label, actually we changed the name and the description, right? All right. So for the name, actually we can do product.seller.username, because I believe this is gonna break, but we have products, and when they come back, they have a seller and a username nested within it. So that's good. Okay. So now let's go ahead and make this price component. So this price component, let's see what you're looking like. So what you have is a network image and then a price amount on the right. Okay. Looking not bad. All right. So let's go ahead and steal you, put you under components, and get you all formatted to this new project. Okay. So first, the styling, all of this looks good. For the network image, I'm going to rename this the core logo. And network image is going to be core logo, alt, core logo. And for, I'm not going to use the hooks for now. I'm going to unify my types. QRS. All right, and now for this logo, so product, price amount to local string, core logo. Just going to import core logo. Actually, what did I just see? Why am I... Wait, what's going on here? Okay. Oh, I have a... That's interesting. I have a component named core logo. And the source. Okay. Is a styled image. So I'm wondering if All right, let's do this. So in my core, what's my asset called? Unknown core. Yeah, this is just, okay. Unknown. We'll just do this for now. Keep things nice and simple. All right, so instead of using my core logo, we're just going to use the unknown core, which is a reference to this image right here. And we'll say the source of all of these is going to be that unknown core. And this is just so we can get things not breaking for the time being. Yeah, that'll work for now. And let me just take a peek at core logo and see what's going on. So this is an image. Interesting. Fascinating, fascinating. Okay. Okay. So this price component is taken care of, although we may have a little unification or drying up some of our logic to take care of. But for right now, just got to get something rendered on the screen to, so we can click around something, see if it breaks. And now let's go back to this product card component. So this is looking good. The styles for this are looking good. Now let's go ahead and render this. So render product cards, what we can do is we can say in this function is that whenever we are rendering product cards, what we're going to do is we're going to take the active products, which we need to add a filter for, and we're going to map over each of them. And for the product card, which we need to import, so product card container, above that, what, product card. All right, so for the product card, the key is going to be product.id. Now on click, we don't have a click handler yet, but what we can do is put a empty one for now. And for the product we pass in, that's just going to be the product that we're mapping over. And the product that gets passed in is going to pluck off all the information, and yeah, should be good to test it out now. All right, looking good. So Amy is the seller of the bacon. I got a couple styling issues where like the prices aren't lining up, and that's because you see here on the description these two are one line and then these are two lines, but that's just a little responsive design thing. See, when they get one line it looks a little bit better. But now let me hit my breakpoints. So first of all, I'm thinking that maybe 4 items max. Okay, so let's start with the smallest. Actually, should we start with the biggest or smallest? Let's start with the smallest. So my breakpoint for this left menu, you see where it says Cores Wallet Exchange Shop. When is that gonna go mini? That's gonna go mini at 1020. All right, so let's take a step back here. Let's go ahead and just look at my product cards container and work on the styling for this. Nothing else. Let's keep it simple here, Bucky. All right, so 1024 is when I get some more space from the left menu. And this is the wrong app, so embarrassing. Okay, So this is my one column, and that is looking good all the way until it splits in two. I think that's looking good as well. You know what? This actually isn't looking that bad. Although what I'm thinking is that maybe we just have 4 items is the max. 1, 2, 3 is looking good. 4, it pops it a little bit too soon right now. 3, I want, oh man, this is tough. You know what? I'm gonna pull Audible again, and I'm gonna say that this is looking all right for the time being. I mean, it is responsive and it's pretty close to what we want. And then later on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find a designer to pretty much, create an actual style guide. Right now, this is kind of just like pieced together based on my style skills, and I am far from a good designer. However, as part of that process, they're gonna make a bunch of responsive breakpoints and kind of tweak all this. So for right now, things are indeed working, and yeah, I'll leave that as is. So let me go ahead and close this, and all right. So another thing that we were going to do is, I guess what we can do next is when you click on one of these, it's going to navigate you to the product details page. Now, do I want to do that first, or do I want to have the logic to fix this right here? So let's do that. Okay. So for each of these product cards, what we have right now is in the price section, we are just always rendering the unknown core, which is basically this question mark right here. But what we want to do is, depending on which price they selected, for example, if they are choosing TNB or VTX, we want to render the TNB logo or VTX logo. So in that case, what we can do is in the price component, we could pass in the ID of the price core, and then from cores, we can pull that image. And we're going to want to split that out into a hook. So let's do that. Okay. So first, let me get my price component from TNBOS, see what's going on. So price. All right. Now, network display image, use network display image. Pass this in. Use network display image, and I believe I just want to use the same logic, but just change the naming from it. So from the back end, we have cores, and the name of the image is a logo. So I'll say use core logo. Yeah, let's do that. So instead of use a network display image, I'm going to create a new hook. And let me make sure use, oh, look at this. I got it already. Oh, baby, love when that happens. Okay, use core logo, and the good thing is that it's named the exact same thing that I just came up with. So, okay. So let me just import that. So use core logo from hooks, and then the core logo that gets passed in is going to be the products price core, and then this is just going to be the core logo for the source, and I'm going to be able to delete this, and should be good actually. All right, so this is VTX, so it displays the V. This is TNB, so it displays the TNB logo. And now, actually, I want to switch this to my default avatar too. So let me just Where are you actually? Just find it easier this way. Alright, so the source of this doesn't have anything to do with like the product detail page, but it's just kind of annoying me. So default avatar. Alright, so now instead of looking at my beautiful face, we can just look at this default avatar instead, and it'll just serve as kind of a visual to-do to let us know that we need to change this avatar logic as well. Okay, so for right now, so embarrassing. Default avatars all around, and no click logic, but we'll do that in just a second. So let's see what we're gonna do next. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's make a temporary product detail page, basically the template version of this page right here. And then from there, we'll go ahead and build out the click logic. So whenever someone clicks one of these cards, then we can take them to that page. And then we'll build out the details of this page later on. So on that note, let's go ahead and first hop back in here to what's going on here? Okay, so let's go to our pages in our shop page, and for the by catalog, just seeing if we have a product details page yet. Okay, so for the shop pages, by product details, which we don't have yet, but we can go ahead and create a new page to do that right now. So it's going to be the same as pretty much this. Okay. All right, so we are creating a new page, and to do that, we create a new directory, and it's pretty much the same as this. And the style is just an empty style file, and for the component, we can just add some placeholder stuff right now. All right, so now we got a new page that the user is going to be taken to, and now we just need to see, it's not in our layout, it's in our main. We just need to register it. All right, and then for this, by product. All right, thinking the best way to do this, because we're gonna need to use an ID, but for now, all right, let's just keep it simple for now. Mono P. Should I do products? Yeah. All right, so let's do this. By catalog, I'll say by product. All right, and that didn't work. Great, and that is because it was supposed to be by products. Okay. So by product details is going to say by products, and it's going to have an ID in it, which we didn't give it yet. But for now, what we want to do is really just make sure that when they click this, it goes to the right link. Yeah. Okay, so maybe we can do that now. Now the question is there anywhere else in my app that we are using this logic? And I don't think so. Okay. probably going to need to consult ChatGPT. So for the product details page, all right. Except param, an ID param, like wow. Like this. Alright, so ChatGPT, tell me the formatting for this, and then I also want to make sure that whenever we render that page, that we are plucking off those params from the component. These params, this is what I want, products, ID. There we go. Alright. So products /ID is going to give you that behavior. So products /ID, and then in here, use params and then just pluck off the ID. All right, and let's see what we got going on here. And then let's just render that ID out here. All right, so now hopefully when we go to buy products 20, it renders 20, beautiful. 21, 21, looking good. And then of course we're going to be using that to fetch the actual product. However, for now, that is looking all right. So actually what we can do is whenever we click one of these to navigate to that link. So let's do that right now. Okay. So that is going to be on, actually keep this around. So for shop pages, that is the buy catalog. That's going to link to products, components, and that is eventually going to display this product card right here. Now for this product card, let's see what we have. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, very, very interesting. Now the question becomes, why on the product card all right, so why is the click handler being passed in? Render product cards, set active by product ID, set active page. On click, handle click. Okay, now, what is this? This must be a different product card. What? Okay. Sell product details. Oh, okay. I know what I was doing. All right, so. Okay. So on TNBOS, what I was doing is, you see how I have all my product cards right here, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however many I have. Now I have it where you click it, it takes you to the details page of the product. And I'm wondering why I had that I had customizable click logic for it, since it seems like I would just always want to go to the details page. And the reason is because the way I have it set up is that whenever I'm editing a product right here, see, this is also a product card component. And then whenever I click this, I don't want to be taken to the details page for it, since all this is just like a little preview of what the product card is going to look like. However, for this app, whenever we're editing, we don't have that product card preview. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move that click logic right to the product card itself. So on the product card, we don't need to pass an on-click handler. So that means on this product card, we're actually still going to have on-click logic, but just not pass it in. Okay. So on the product cards, which gets rendered from the product cards container, and this is gonna be getting rendered from the buyer's catalog page. So we're gonna say that this on-click handler, you no longer have to give to your product cards because we don't need it. And instead, I'm gonna say const handle click. And then this is gonna be my click handler, and all this is gonna do is it's gonna navigate to the product details page. And to navigate to this page, what we need to do is we need to use navigate from React Router DOM. And then we need to store it in a navigate variable and then just navigate wherever our heart desires. Okay. So we're going to navigate to, what page was it? It was by products 21, something like this. Okay, so back in here, we're going to navigate to this, and then the ID is just going to be product.id. All right. So now for these product cards, we're just going to pass in a product, and then whenever you click the card, anywhere in the card, it's just going to take you to the product details page for that. All right, so let's test this out. I'm going to click bacon, and it's taken me to products 11, which hopefully is bacon. Yep. And then one spoon, products 14, mushroom book, products 15. Looking nice. Okay, so we got our click logic working right here. And actually, is there anything else to do on this page? Our scroll functionality is working. The empty state was working. Tested that out earlier. Yeah, some things with the avatars that aren't working. However, we don't have avatar logic support on the back end yet, so nothing we can do for now. Yeah, prices, all the info displaying as we expected. Actually, one other thing that I want to make sure of is this. Let's go ahead and deactivate this mushroom book. And then I just want to make sure that only active products show up here. So then we can actually push up this branch. So on that case, in the buy catalog, we have this to do add a filter, and then we're going to be getting that from enums. So filter, okay. So import So import activation status from enums. And now when getting all our active products, we just want to say let's just figure out the activation status. So activation status active. Okay. So the active products are all products whose activation status equals active, and then hopefully if everything went right, we should not see the mushroom book. However, if we go back and we activate it, so it's now active, Then when we go to our catalog, it should be there. Beautiful. And there's also another question of how we want to sort these products. And that's an interesting question. Whenever you're looking at a product catalog, just like view all, how should they be sorted? By the last modified first? That sounds kind of dangerous, because then people are probably just going to edit their products all the time needlessly, just so they appear at the top of everyone's list. So there must be a smarter way, but it seems like that's a little bit more advanced logic. I'm sure we can come up with a pretty smart solution. However, for now, just kind of want to get things working and make sure nothing breaks. So I think this is actually good for this feature. Let me add product. Yeah. So we'll say that the buyer product catalog page is done. And next up, we have to pretty much build out this UI, the buyer product details page. All right. So that's what we'll do in the next video. However, for right now, let me just go ahead and link to this. And yeah, push it up, and another item off the checklist, another good coding session. So link that, looking good. I will push this up, and in the next video, what we'll do is we'll tackle the product details page. So as always, thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you next time.